Welcome to the Business Spotlight podcast. My name is Kay Cote, and I'm your host for today's episode. And today on the show, I have Sarah Estapa, founder and CEO of Latinx Copywriter, as my guest. We're going to be learning about her journey to business ownership, best practices, and challenges that she's faced to give you that inside look to what it's like to build and operate a business. Welcome, Sarah. So great to meet you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Kay. Thank you for having me today.
Of course. Well, I am so excited to dive into all things business. But before we get to all things business, I want to learn a little bit about you and your business. So, take us back as far as you'd like and share a bit about yourself.
Great. Latinx Copywriter is a bilingual and bicultural copywriting business based out of Austin, Texas. We specialize in what we call transcreation, where we take English language campaigns and reimagine them for the Latino and Hispanic audience, predominantly in Spanish and also in what we speak in Texas, Spanglish. So um, we've been doing that since 2021 and really cover a wide range of industries and have had the pleasure of working with big campaigns and brands across the US and abroad.
Very cool. And yes, I totally understand the Spanglish here in Austin, Texas. It's very real. Okay, well, thank you for sharing a little bit about yourself. And now, before we get into the business itself, tell me a bit about the role you currently do day to day. Like, what does a typical week look like for you?
Of course. So, as the CEO and founder, I'm also the creative director, the lead writer, and kind of like a solopreneur in this business space. But I'm very blessed to have several other copywriters that assist me with day-to-day projects. And together we work to create these campaigns. A lot of the time in what I do is, upon meeting clients, is really educating them on what it means to have a Hispanic campaign. Not just putting it to through Google Translate or finding the cheapest translator possible, but actually showing them the importance of having someone that can understand how to take a message that understands both cultures. Growing up in the US, like, me and my assistants have, and being able to transcreate and put those messages in Spanish to where, sometimes they're not specifically to a specific country, but are generally understood by many different kinds of Spanish speakers that you find in the U.S. across cultures, across generations, and kind of creating a unified message across the board. So, day to day, we're working with different campaigns, putting different ideas together, and really finding a great way, at the end of the day, to create positive messages for Hispanic audiences where they feel seen and heard and represented in the ad space and with brands that they connect with.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so you're busy, busy. And if you kind of like look at what you're building throughout the week, if you had to like put a percentage on it, do you know how much time you spend working in the business versus working on the business?
Definitely. I would say at this point, it's almost about 60-40-60 doing the day-to-day creative tasks and projects that come to us, and 40% on growing the business. And for me, I'm a first generation business owner. Really learning how to manage a business on my own and finding the right community spaces to connect with other business owners to kind of get the grasp of, okay, how do I manage accounting? How do I manage my LLC setup? How do I, how can I put a contract together? And, really learning kind of the ropes as I go along on how to put it together. And I think for my benefit and something that, I work a lot, obviously, with the Hispanic market, and something that we have generally as a cultural nuance is that we're really determined and we're really positive in general. So despite the challenges that come our way, we always find a way to, okay, we can do this better. We can work on this, and there's always a positive outlook. And I think as a business owner myself, and as a Latina business owner, I think being positive and putting good energy into my business and not getting, uh, uh, discouraged by challenges that come my way. Oh, I don't know how to do this. Oh, I don't know how to do that. There's always an answer out there and there's always a solution. And so being able to have that resilience and, that comes from me culturally, I think has been a blessing in disguise. And, at the same time, it allows me to do my job better and being able to show brands that, this is something that's unique in this demographic, and this is just one way and how to target them and how to really connect with this audience. So it's kind of been like a 360 type of system going on. But I'm really blessed, and I've happy that I found the right people along the way in this business journey and how to get be better and how to best protect my business from a management standpoint and at the same time from a creative standpoint, which the creative stuff is easy, that's more fun, but the management stuff, that's a challenge. But it's been 5 years now and we're still thriving, so I'm very grateful for that.
Oh, that's good. And I totally understand like the whole like creative business thing. It's like that's the fun part. And that's like that
Yeah.
admin side is kind of like the daunting, thing in the back corner.
Yes,
Uh,
no, definitely. And the best part is finding the right people. When you find the right people to kind of help you with that, I have a really great accountant based out of Pflugerville that has been such a blessing to me and helped me a lot with a lot of the business setup and the accounting, and having someone that can just work on that while I do the other things that come easier to me is great. So, something I would always tell other business owners is to find your team and find the right people that are experts at what they do to help get that load off, just because we carry so much ourselves.
yes, for sure. Now tell me about your team. You mentioned solopreneur and then you mentioned that you have people that you're working with. So are you working with contracted folks? Do you have employees under your belt? Kind of what's the structure of that?
Of course. At this moment, we're still in growth phase. So I have contractors that work with me, that other Latina creatives that really understand what we're trying to achieve and giving them the space as well to grow as creatives in the industry. Working with a lot of students that are just out of college looking for that creative space to kind of dive into these big campaigns, giving them the opportunities that weren't as accessible to me. Especially coming into the ad space where, when you're fresh out of college, it's kind of hard to find the right doors to get in. So being able to provide these opportunities to people that are just graduating and letting them get their feet wet and getting a good understanding of what it is to, work on this type of advertising campaign. So I have two writers from Florida and different cultural backgrounds from me. So just for myself, I come from Texas, South Texas. So I have a predominantly Mexican American background. I have a writer who is of Puerto Rican descent. And I have another writer that is Bolivian. So, we work together on creating these campaigns. And as I mentioned earlier, Kay, that Spanish is a very complex language, and so being able to have people that specialize and come from different backgrounds is a blessing, because you never know what we're tasked with, and having someone that has other dialects and language and jargon that can be added to the mix is just so helpful. I also work with a very talented creative graphic designer from California who's Mexican American, who, is just so amazing at what she does as well. So having a small team of women and Latinas that we work together in cohesion, and they get the projects, they get the feeling, and what we do, it just all comes together as one creative force with that I'm just blessed to be able to lead and create open those doors for people.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, because it's kind of a fun question to think about. If I gave you an extra 10 hours back in your day, where would those hours go? Would you put them back into the business, or would you maybe think of putting them into life outside of it?
Oh my goodness. That is such a great question. And for me, and something that I've been working on this, we're almost halfway through the year, which I can't believe. I feel like I'm still in February.
Same.
But I would do 50-50. I would put five into just personal life and personal endeavors just because it's so important for the creative mind to be able to have those outlets to disconnect and just be part of your community and being outdoors or, going to the gym or whatever you need to have your outlet to just disconnect really. And then I put five more in to the business where, again, just culturally, and this is what I've seen with a lot of the women in my family, we're always taught to serve others and to put ourselves last, which I'm trying to break that system, but as a business owner, I always try to put my customers first and putting my clients first and making sure that their needs are met. So if I had 5 extra hours in my day, I would love to feed that into myself, into my business. Half for my business and half for me, just to have that extra benefit of just growth for my personal life and for my business life as well.
Oh, I like how you split that up. That's a great answer. And so
Yeah.
is there anything currently in your business that you wish you could just offload, or, as business owners, we're always wearing so many hats. Is there any hats that you wish you weren't doing right now?
I think, I'm speaking this, as an affirmation. If I could just have someone that would just have that secretarial aspect, which, hopefully the goal is by maybe the end of Q3 or Q4, having someone that could just be the secretary and have a virtual assistant to come in and take in those inquiries, take in those like daily tasks that, take up a little bit of time each day. That would be, the next step of growth for my business. But, until then, taking that on for now and finding the best way to have someone take over that space.
Definitely. Well, thank you for sharing that. And now I want to take us through another part of the conversation here. So, looking at every business I talk with is like kind of going through something, right? A new season, a new challenge, maybe a new level in business that you're getting to. So what are you growing through right now that's like demanding most of your time?
Of course, that's a great question. You know, we've been blessed to really persevere and really finding our niche, aside from saying, hey, we're bilingual or we're Spanish copywriters. It's really finding the right clients that can work that are more than just a one-off project, but kind of like, retainers and a business that we can grow with over time. That has been our biggest challenge. And I think as most agencies know, those are the hardest ones to find just because, a lot of times just, even if, no matter your niche in the agency world, a lot of projects are a one-time thing and finding the right clients that see the value in what you're doing and are willing to invest, even at the smallest amount, in something that's monthly where you can grow with them and they grow with you, and together just building a cohesive, creative space where both can grow together. That has been the biggest challenge, and we're really blessed to have made excellent partnerships with new clients this past year, and being able to grow in that space, which just are just big things that agency owners face. And you know, I'm happy that our hard work and our perseverance has led us to find these clients and to build these connections that are just so valuable.
Definitely. Thank you for sharing that. And that actually leads perfectly into my next question is like say you walk into your office or get on your computer on Monday morning, what is the one thing that's like sitting on the top of your mind that you're like just thinking about?
Oh my goodness. Oh, now you're making me relive Monday. First of all, it's figuring out, wait, what day is this?
It is Tuesday. Yeah, you must have you had a Monday yesterday. So how was
Yeah,
it?
exactly. What day is this? Sometimes we get caught up. I think, especially when you're building a business on your own, you get caught up in projects and so many things that you're trying to achieve in a 24-hour space. So, come Monday morning, I really like to take some time before even logging in to just sit down, kind of meditate about the day I want to have, and start building a to-do list of like, okay, what's pending? Is there anything I need to tackle before even getting started on my daily tasks, right? Do I have any projects that need to be turned in? Do I have to do follow up on any invoices or any business needs, or anything that we have with our team members? We have weekly meetings with our creative team once a week, so Mondays are set for that. Just going through my to-do list and making sure that everything is in order and everything is ready so we can not only start our day, but start our week on the right foot.
Definitely. The meditation, that is like a golden nugget of this conversation because that's like a very, I think, underutilized part of business ownership and anybody meditation. So I love that you
Yeah.
said that. Um,
Yeah, no, I can really vouch for that for sure.
yes, it's a main thing in my life too. So what is like Okay, so if someone handed you an instant solution for something you're working on in your business right now, like something you're working through, uh, what would wh like what would change the most about how you're running the business right now? Like what would the solution be for and how would that change how you're running the business?
That's a good question, Kay. The instant solution that I would have would be, just a tool or a button I can click, and I have my projection, all my projected day in front of me. And I think these type of tools exist, but they take time to build. I haven't gotten there yet. And a lot of times they have a learning curve. I'm just thinking of like, it'd be cool to press a button and everything that I have is all in front of me. And I think that can exist now with AI. There are some tools that kind of help business owners in that way.
Mhm.
Again, it's the learning curve of getting that all together and finding the time, finding those extra 10 hours for myself to build that out. But that's something that, not only a type of wish list, but something that can be done. But something that I'm building towards, right? It's really having that order, which I have a creative mindset. So sometimes I get distracted and I'm like, okay, let's focus on this. And I think for business owners, having a lot of order in how you manage your business and staying on task and focusing is so important. So being able to have that magic tool to put everything in order so that I can focus and have more leeway for being creative would be awesome.
Yes, that's powerful and very true. And like now let's kind of look forward at the business, like where you want the business to go. And so where do you see the business going in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yes. Again, I can really vouch for positive affirmations and manifestation. I really believe in them, and even through the toughest times, I've, seen the fruits of not only manifesting, but putting all the efforts that we've done to grow coming to fruition. And, in the next 3 to 5 years, hopefully, and planning on it, being able to be more solid as an agency, having more paid employees that can help manage tasks a lot better from not only the creative side, but like I mentioned, having that, you know, uh, our our virtual assistants to help manage the business flow, our creative team, and just building a team where I can kind of take a step back from the creative side and just manage and let other new talent come in to be creative and to just help grow our campaigns with our clients. That's the dream. So I'm saying it now. Let's come back in like 3 years and say, Sarah, did did you grow your team? Did you reach that goal? Hopefully, yes. We're gonna say we did. We have it ready, and it's just coming in the it's just on its way. So
Oh, that is beautiful. And this is like the perfect follow-up question is like if I had a conversation 5 years from now with you and you are grinning ear to ear, what would you be telling me?
first thing I'd say, Kay, have you been doing your positive affirmations, your manifestation because it works, um, for sure. But yeah, really putting it out there again, having that almost almost it's not naive in the sense, but it seems kind of naive sense of positivity, just because I think when you're really building a business from nothing, you kind of have nothing to lose. But obviously, that's not the best way to operate a business. But at the same time, I am a firm believer that if you have a passion and you are determined and you know what service that you have um, has a unlimited growing potential, I think the sky is the limit. And I think the people that push and push, like we see with, top business owners and brands, the businesses that really persevere in trying times when no one knows who they are the ones that really find success long term, just because they don't give up. And, I'm kind of stubborn in that sense where I'm not going to give up until I reach my goal, no matter how difficult it is, right? I know what the business I have has potential. I see other people coming into my space where before I was kind of like the Lone Ranger, and now, other entrepreneurs similar to what I do are coming in, which is great because that just goes to show that the need is there. So in 5 years from now, I definitely see this business that I'm creating growing even stronger and making more of an impact, not only in Texas, but across the US.
Oh, that is wonderful. That is incredible. So now, we're getting kind of towards the end of the conversation here. I want to kind of bring us back to full circle. So, uh, you know, when you're looking at where you are today and where you've gotten to and where you want to be, what is sitting in the middle of those two things from where you are and where you want to be, and kind of like what's in the way of making that happen?
Of course. I think um, some things we need to achieve to get there and to get there, to have that growth faster is continuing to grow our client list, getting being able to work with bigger brands, bigger businesses that not only want to do a one-off project, but something that they can grow and invest in us and grow and have us grow together. So, someone that says, "Hey, I need someone to manage my Hispanic campaigns. Can you kind of guide us? And can you be our consultant? Can you provide these types of copy or these translations on a monthly basis?" Being able to provide those services monthly for our clients is super valuable. And I think we're on the right track to getting there. Again, just finding that growth within our businesses and kind of like we're still in the awareness phase. So having more businesses know our business and see the value in what we do and see, what can this look like? What happens when we take an idea and transform it into an ad that reaches thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of people on a weekly, daily basis, right? So I think we're in the right step, we're in the right direction. I think, it's continuing to build and to get continuing to um, pro- uh, put ourselves out there and make the right connections.
Definitely, definitely. So, when you imagine the version of the business that is like finally working in that the order that you vision it to be, what does your life look like outside of the business?
Yes, of course. So on a personal note, having this big business or having this structure where I can kind of take a step back and manage and let other people lead creatively would be such, the end goal for me personally is to be able to focus on my family. Just on a personal note, me and my husband are in the family planning stage. So hopefully being able to raise children and just focus on enjoying life and enjoying our many pets. We're also a cat. Right now, we don't have any children, but we have a lot of cat children. So, being able to just relax, enjoy life with our cats, with our children, and just continuing to enjoy what we do, that's kind of the end goal, really.
Oh, that is so fun. I love that vision for your life. And I'm also a cat household, so I get it. They're fun
Oh,
little
I love
critters.
it. Yes.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, this has been such a fun conversation. I've absolutely enjoyed getting to know you. So, how can people connect with you and your company online?
Yes, thank you so much, Kay. So first of all, you can find us on our website, www.latinxcopywriter.com. So it's Latinx copywriter.com. You can find me on Instagram and on TikTok at Latinx Copywriter.
Amazing. Thank you. And for our final question today, if you had a little bit of magic dust you could sprinkle on one spot in your business to rapidly improve it, what part of the business would you sprinkle it on?
Ooh, I would sprinkle it on paid search campaigns. So, being able to have an infinite amount of magic dust that puts Latinx copywriter at the top of Google search and the top of any type of copywriter search would be, just the little sprinkle we need to get more growth and to connect with other people. Because really, when we meet people that come to us, we have a pretty great and solid client conversion on our hands, and obviously client satisfaction. So really, it's building the awareness and having more people find us. So if we could sprinkle a little bit of that magic dust to that, and having more people find our services, you know, I really think it would just lead us to even more growth than what we've been experiencing so far.
Ah, I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing about your business, and I wish you the best of luck in all your endeavors. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you so much, Kay. I appreciate it.